Warning. The views expressed in this video are mine and only mine. I repeat, the views expressed in this video are mine. Now, let's return to regularly scheduled programming. Good evening. It's yours truly, Dan Adams, aka the Soulful Conservative, the DA, and the prosecutor, coming to you live once again with the 15 minutes of heat, live from the Political Heat remote studios, aka La Casa, and got a lot to get into, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Just saw this come across the wire from thehill.com. And actually, I'm going to read some of this because this is actually pretty good. I think Bernie Sanders once again had another senior moment. And I'm not talking about where, the dude went off and cursed somebody out or forgot how old he was or where he lived or anything like that. Senior moment as in he must have forgot who he was and who he was talking about. And I guess if you think about it from this perspective of, let me find the article here. Take a minute. Why is it not showing me where my article is? Oh, here it is. There we go. From the Hill. Bernie Sanders. Clinton should have spoken up about Russian bots during election. Repeat. Bernie Sanders. Clinton should have spoken up about Russian bots during election. Now I'm thinking to myself, and I'm coming to you with the knowledge that is very minuscule in how the Bernie Sanders camp ran its campaign in regards to the background, nuances, and financing, campaign financing, and donations, and grassroots activism and things of that nature. All we heard about is the wonderful la socialism, Marxism, classism, everything isms that you could think of in regards to Bernie Sanders and how he wanted to run this country. But this is interesting because, and I'm going to read a little bit of this article so you can get a better grasp of what's going on. Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont on Wednesday suggested that Hillary Clinton's campaign should have done more to notify the public that Russians were attempting to sow division during the 2016 presidential campaign. Now, in an interview with Vermont Public Radio, Sanders was asked why he did not warn his supporters leading up to the 2016 presidential election, that Russian bots were attempting to sow division between him and Clinton, which is kind of weird. What kind of division were the Russian bots trying to sow between them two? Seeing that we all know now that the fix was in regards to Hillary Clinton winning the Democrat presidential nominee. But as I digress and get back to the story. And Clinton, by attacking Clinton on pro-Sanders social media forums, quote, ladies and gentlemen, quote, "I did not know Russian bots were promoting my campaign," Sanders said. "In the midst of all this, I was out campaigning very hard for Hillary Clinton. So let me leave it at that." Now, what does he mean by let me leave it at that? Does he know more than what he's espousing? Does he know more and actually has concrete knowledge, information in regards to the Russian bots and their operation and how they tried to sow division, which I'm thinking to myself once again, what sowing of division happened between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton? There was none, because even in the midst of Bernie campaigning against Hillary, he showed nothing but the utmost respect for this woman, as if this woman gave birth to him or something. But, ladies and gentlemen, Bernie Sanders is just another lackey, just another liberal Democrat hack who was put into the fold, I guess, with the Bernie Sanders and Phil the Burn and all that good stuff, and you got the Young Turks and all these other individuals backing Bernie. So I guess he must have thought, well, I got to, take a stand on some of these things and make sure my I guess political gumption is placed upon the issues and the things that I want to, I guess, change in this country. Free this, free that, free everything. But Bernie Sanders, I'm thinking to myself, sowing division? How can a Russian bot sow division? That's number one. Number two, Bernie Sanders, even with his feverish campaigning, even though he didn't know the fix was in regards to the DNC and Hillary Clinton, but he kind of, in the back of his mind, knew he wasn't going to win the nomination on the Democrat ticket. I think he knew, but I guess he gave it a formidable effort, and I guess the Democrat Party needed someone else out there to challenge Hillary in some form or fashion, which she didn't get challenged at all. We all know this. To this day, she has never been challenged, will never be challenged, unless some liberal leftist numbnut moonbat liberal lamestream outlet grows a backbone, somehow, I guess, has a senior moment like Bernie and speaks their mind and asks questions to Hillary Clinton that they normally don't ask. But as I digress, that's just something for you guys to think about if you hadn't seen the story come across your newswire. Now, let's go ahead and talk about, ladies and gentlemen, these recent indictments. And now we have Gates and Manafort officially being indicted. I guess that plea bargain that was put in place fell through the cracks because I guess with the Alex can't pronounce his last name, this lawyer for Paul Manafort, I guess this individual must have spilled something, yet it's still nothing about Russia collusion, but must have spilled something to where the plea bargain that was put in place fell through the cracks, was reneged on, and thrown away by special counsel Bob Mueller. Now, I'm thinking to myself, once again, nothing is coming in the direction of Russian collusion in the Trump campaign and President Trump himself. Nothing. So we're going to continue to go down this. We're going to investigate everybody, and if we find anything on them, we're going to indict them. So to make it look as if all the wasted taxpayer money is being done in a fashion to where some fruits are being born, some end result is being accomplished, even though it's bullcrap. There's no Russia collusion, never have and never will and never was. So let's move on to indicting the lowest of the lowest of the totem pole individuals and try to get them to flip and somehow, some way, give any kind of information in regards to Russia collusion and filter it up to President Trump. Now, I don't know where these indictments are going to go, if these individuals are going to serve any time. I don't know. It's up to Bob Mueller and ultimately the federal grand jury and all that good stuff. But keep it locked because this isn't over yet. And seeing that we're coming up, ladies and gentlemen, just a few months away, 2 years of investigations into the Trump campaign, Russia collusion, and everything else. 2 years. And we still have nothing concrete slapped on the table, throw it right in your face. Here we have it, ladies and gentlemen, the smoking gun. If there was a smoking gun, and I've talked to my millennial co-worker about this, he thinks that they may be holding off on this smoking gun because they don't want to divulge this information. But I'm thinking to myself, it's been almost 2 years of investigations and nothing. So how about we move on? And seeing that we're going to move on, let's move on to this whole let's blame Donald Trump for the Parkland shooting. Just put out a social media post basically stating, and I'm paraphrasing myself, for any of these individuals, and I have stated this many times in the past, many times, under the 8 years of Obama and the multiple mass shootings that happened under Barack Hussein Obama's presidency, I never, and I mean never, blame that man for any of those shootings, because it is true. But I will say this in regards to Obama. The responses and the action, and I should say non-action taken from Barack Hussein Obama, not just with school shootings, but with beheadings and floods and earthquakes and sand dunes, anything else you could think of that affected Americans in a way that individuals and families lost loved ones, individuals and families lost houses and property and treasured items like pictures and everything else that you could think of. His responses to those incidents were utterly and unbelievably insensitive. And so insensitive to the fact and to the point that some individuals were ready to just go out there and strangle that man, myself included. But I never, and I mean never, not one time, excuse me, blame Barack Hussein Obama for any of these mass shootings that happened under his watch. But now, with President Trump and the Trump derangement syndrome in full blast, you have individuals spouting, claiming, yelling, crying, doing everything else up and down the emotional spectrum, but blaming President Donald J. Trump for the Parkland shooting. Now, I'm thinking to myself, and I'm going to camp on to what I stated last night in regards to, or maybe the other night, in regards to the left's all-out assault on the Second Amendment. I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I honestly believe, ladies and gentlemen, this is me, the staunch conservative here. I honestly believe that we need to come together on both sides and in the middle to find concrete, common sense solutions to the the proliferation, the ever ongoing situation that we have with individuals feeling they needed to pick up a gun, go to a school, go to a workplace, go to wherever, and feel that they need to just take lives, innocent lives, just because they wanted to, just because they had the means to. And that's where the left is coming in with this assault on the Second Amendment. You got individuals on the left talking about credit card companies need to decline individuals trying to purchase assault weapons, which these individuals on the left are so dumb in regards to gun knowledge and what guns are and classification of guns. They have no clue, ladies and gentlemen, no clue of what they're talking about. And to end tonight's show, put a post out in regards to Chris Cuomo of CNN went on national TV, prefaced his monologue in regards to this is not accurate information, but doubled down on that misinformation and lied through his teeth. So I basically stated on social media today that the left is not concerned about gun control, curbing gun violence. All they care about, ladies and gentlemen, is blaming the Republicans and the GOP. If someone else has a different angle on that, please let me know. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the 15 Minutes of Heat with yours truly, Dan Adams, a.k.a. Soulful Conservative, the DA and the prosecutor. And as I end every broadcast, may God continue to bless you and yours. May he keep you and your family safe. Until next time, God bless. Peace.